Randy Bachman gives us his top 3 songs from the Guess Who. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. What are your top 3 songs from the Guess Who? I know it's a generic question, but I'm just curious.
I think one of the best songs I ever wrote was She's Come Undone. I also really like No Time. And These Eyes is a magical mystery tour song. It's just amazing. I found out why I wrote These Eyes and how I wrote Undone. And I only found out about six months ago. Of watching the Zombies, they had a live YouTube. And they talked to Rod Argent, who's written some of the greatest songs.
I've talked to him, yeah.
What an influence Rod Argent was on me writing Undone. With it. Remember that? I realized I've spent a year and a half in a studio in the 60s with Burt Bacharach, who plays all major and minor 7th chords and weird time signatures. The Zombies, when they did their tour, toured with Dionne Warwick and listened to Burt Bacharach songs for 9 months in England. And when Rod Argent, who's the songwriter, said, I got all my chords that are not rock and roll chords, they're jazz chords from Rod Argent, I go, what? I had the same thing with Burt Bacharach. These Eyes has got like 20 chords in it. Although it sounds like a 3-chord song, it's got jazz chords. And that basically Lenny Breau taught me to play certain bass notes. Or you're playing F major 7. I mean, you go da 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 da. It's an F major 7. You don't play an F bass, you play a G bass. And that's totally John Coltrane stuff, which sounded weird at the time. Now, when you hear it on the radio, it's absolutely charming and a great jazz song. And people don't realize it. The engineer on that whole first album was Phil Ramone, who's Mr. Ears, who then went on to do, McCartney and Billy Joel and thousands of other people, Stevie Wonder and everybody. So it's Phil Ramone's mixing and his ears. And it was his studio, A&R Studios in New York, that we did that.
I had a chance to meet him before we lost him. Amazing, very interesting man. He says people would always ask him, well, just the way you are. And the 10cc thing, how they kind of, I'm not in love. But what about She's Come Undone? That's always been one of my favorites. Can you give me a?
Well, I had these hanging out with Lenny Breau. I saw him play once in Winnipeg. I was 15. I just discovered Elvis. He was 16. He was a year older than me.
Did you know him then?
No, but every day at noon, every Saturday at noon on CKY radio would be the CKY Caravan, which was a live country band from 11:30 to 12:30 at a different car lot. They're selling donuts. The guy's doing a remote. They're selling donuts, and they're trying to sell the new Mustang or the new Ford car or truck. So this would be live, and I'd listen to it every Saturday. My mother actually would put it on. And at noon, they would say, we're going to take a break and let Junior play. And out of the radio would come this most amazing guitar music I'd ever heard. And I thought Junior was a band. So one week they're playing my end of town, the North End, West Kelowna, right across from West Kelowna Park. I ride my bicycle there. I wait till noon. They all leave the stage. And they say, now Junior's going to play. And this kid who's like 3 inches shorter than me comes up with a big orange Gretsch. It's Lenny Breau, and he plays Caravan. And I go nobody's standing in front of them. They're all having donuts and coffee. He's playing live on the air. The stage is about 6 inches high. It's on asphalt in the Ford parking lot. I'm looking at him playing. Where's the bass coming on? I see he's playing with his fingers. His thumb's going boom, 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 boom. And he's playing all the 3 parts at once. So after the show, and I stand in front of him. After the show, I go and shake hands. Hi, my name's Randy. Where do you live? He said, I don't live anywhere. We live in that trailer. We just came into town. Oh, how long have you been playing guitar? Since I was 6. Oh, well, you're 60, you're playing for 10 years. What's that called? What you're playing? I heard Elvis on TV, and it's called fingerstyle. It's called Chet Atkins. I thought it was one word like flamenco. I didn't know the words are named Chet Atkins. So I said, how do I get that? I want to hear more of that. Well, just go to Eaton's or go to your record store and ask for a Chet Atkins record. So I go into the record store. I say, I want to get a Chet Atkins record. She says, do you mean Chet Atkins? I said, no, Chet Atkins is like flamenco. She said, I think you mean Chet Atkins. She played, that's it. That's it. So I took that home. Then I go to see Lenny 2 weeks later. He says, I now have a house. I live in Garden City. I had just moved to Garden City. I live 2 blocks from him. I said, can I come to your house and watch you? Can you give me guitar lessons? I don't know how to give guitar lessons, but you can watch me. I move the needle and I figure out where to play it on guitar. I'm learning Chet Atkins, Howard Roberts, all this kind of stuff. I play hooky every afternoon for 2 years. When your report card comes, your mother looks at it. You got B's and C's, but it says, this guy's missed 82 afternoons consecutively. And your mother said, something's wrong with this. It says you weren't at school. Sometimes I'd go and then check in and then leave. And I would watch Lenny Bro play. So he taught me 4 or 5 every song, Chet Atkins albums, 1 or 2 Merle Travis albums. Then I start to bring him Chuck Berry. And he'd go, oh, that's really easy. It's like 2 strict. And so I learned it. And then Howard Roberts and Barney Kessel. And in 2 years, I get this vocabulary of playing guitar that is like 10 years of guitar university, all from this kid because we bonded. He had no friends. No, I was his friend. I would go to my girlfriend's house. I had twin girlfriends, Karen and Carol. And I would go to their house for lunch because I couldn't go home. Winnipeg is 40 below, and I lived a mile from school. So I would go to their house with 2, and they lived across from Lenny Bro. So I'd go to their house for lunch. They'd go back to school. I'd go to Lenny's place. So he came friendly with the girls. I was friendly with the girls. He and I were buddies. I learned all those chords from him. And one day I'm in Vancouver, and Burton and I cannot write lyrics to this song. It's too smooth. There's no real hook. There's no real chorus. There's only a little thing. She's come undone. And then you tell the story. And I'm in Vancouver listening to FM radio. It just started then. It's like 67 or 8. And they're playing album cuts. This is just discovered by so-and-so in San Francisco, the father of FM radio. And now we're going off of FM here. We're not playing classical music. We're playing album cuts. And we're going to play the whole side of a Bob Dylan album, a guy I just discovered from Hibbings, Minnesota. And they play this whole side of Bob Dylan, which is very boring. And halfway through a song called Ballad in Plain Day, Bob Dylan said the words, "She came undone." I turned off the radio. I went, "She's come undone," and put all my jazz chords. And then it came. She didn't know what she was headed for. What she found she was headed for, it was too late. The lyrics do not rhyme. It's a pure Rod Argent. And if she should say she loves you, she said those words to me, tell her, no, don't hurt me now because my love, it doesn't rhyme. It's just a great story. So I played for Bert and he goes, wow, congratulations. You've written an amazing song on your own. And because there's no hook or chorus, in the middle, I put that middle part where I do the rising fifth and I do, why did she come undone? Too many mountains, not enough hills to climb. Too many churches, not enough truth. Too many people, not enough eyes to see. Too many lives to leave and not enough time. Everyone was leading 2 lives then, a straight life and a hippie life. Like, do we become a hippie? Do we do drugs? Do we not? And I put that song together and it's just like, every time I play it, it's like, it's magical.
Halfway through the interview, you said your name out loud. You said you said Bachman. And I'm going during the interview going, oh my God, we've all been saying it wrong. And he's being very polite because I introduced you as Bachman because everyone thought Bachman Turner Overdrive sounded better. And so everyone decided somehow that that was your name. Why don't you correct people?
When we signed with Mercury Records in Chicago, the head guy was German. His name was Charlie Fach, F-A-C-H, Fat. We call him Fach. So when he sent out our bio, he put Bachman Turner, he put B-O-C-K so you could sell. In German, it's Bachman, right? It's like Bachman Turner Overdrive, that kind of. In England, it's real quick. It's Bachman Turner Overdrive. In Canada, it's Bachman, and in the States, it's Bachman. So I'm used to this name. I used to say I'm Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive. That kind of says it all.
Well, one last thing on that. Glenn, the lead singer of LRB, Glenn Shorrock, who's Glenn Shorrock in the US. I interviewed him. Kasim Sultan with Todd Rundgren. He says, everyone screws up my name. Bernie Leadon, I talked to him, and he says, everyone says Leadon until now the Eagles are so freaking big. And then, of course, Glenn Frey, Glenn Frey. So it happens all the time, obviously.
How about Ray Davies? He says, my name is Ray Davis.
Yeah.
They don't do Ray Davies in England.
Now, keep in mind the entire interview, and the link is in the bottom in the description of this video. If you want to see the whole thing, it's on our sister channel, Rock History Book. It's also going to be a podcast, and the links are in the description as well. Make sure you comment on our videos. You know we read all the comments. Subscribe to our channel. It's so important to us. And of course, spread the word. Let people know. And share our videos. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. Take good care of yourself.